Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cornelia, and in today's video, I'm going to dive into how I manage working a 9-to-5 while also building multiple businesses. If you are somebody who likes to keep busy, if you're somebody who is an entrepreneur, who has your own business, who's maybe looking to, work their 9-to-5, have that stability, but also still grow a YouTube channel or a candle business or honestly any side hustle, because I do a few different things, so I feel like I can touch on a few different points, but this video will probably be for you. I know that I always look up to creators who build multiple businesses and who have multiple income streams. And so I hope to be that for other people and share my knowledge and ways that I've grown and honed in on, all of my experiences over the last couple of years. So to give you a bit of a recap, unlike my background, so I have been balancing a 9-to-5 with growing businesses for the last 3 years. I used to work in film and television. That was my full-time job. That was my passion, film and TV. I love it. But I had no work-life balance and I was always at work. And so when I moved out west, I moved from Toronto to Calgary 3.5 years ago. I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to follow my dream of doing all of these different businesses and building out a career that I was in love with, while also still, bringing in an income in an industry that I liked, and that was still that still resonated with me. So I got a job at a digital marketing and advertising agency. I am a producer and creative strategist for them. That is a job that I feel like resonates with me. I get to be creative. I get to produce. I get to manage clients, so I really love that. Find a job that you enjoy doing. That's my personal first recommendation. Then I also knew I still wanted to be an actor, and I still wanted to do producing, and I still wanted to do freelance creative work for different clients, for different brands. And then I also knew I wanted to, develop a real estate portfolio, and I knew I wanted to make candles and have a YouTube channel. So there's a lot of things that I have interest in. And this video is actually maybe going to be different advice. I know a lot of people will tell you just pick one thing and stick to that and grow that one thing. And I do think that's very valuable information, but I am somebody who also believes you can do multiple things as long as you do it correctly. You have a plan, you have a strategy, and you know that your attention will be divided up. But I don't think there's only one way to go about things in life. I don't think that you need to quit your job and just focus on one thing. Because let's be real, not everybody's born with money. Not everybody has a backup to fall onto in terms of a financial cushion. I can't just leave my job and only focus on my businesses. I just can't. I need to pay my bills. I have a mortgage. And so I just have to make it work in the time that I'm given with my full-time job. So today's video is very much just 3 big tips on how I make it work, and hopefully I can inspire you guys to, go after your dreams and live the life you want to live while still having the security of a job. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to continue kind of taking you throughout my day, and then I'll pop in into different segments of the video and give you my verbal tips, just talking straight to the camera, telling it as it is. Cheers. I hope you have a coffee in hand or a tea this morning, and you have a great day ahead. Okay, first things first, my number one tip I would say if you're trying to build a business and also work a full-time job is determine when your most productive hours are. Are you a morning person or are you an evening person? Do you have a family? Do you have kids? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have friend commitments? Are you part of clubs? When do you have time in your day that isn't when you're working your full-time job to get stuff done? So for me, it kind of used to be a little bit more scattered when I lived on my own. I would or even when I was working in film and television, like I've always had side hustles. And back in the day, like 4 or 5 years ago, I would predominantly do stuff on the weekends, get stuff done, or like after work. I definitely didn't do stuff before work because I was at work like 12 to 14 hours a day. And I wasn't doing as much as I'm doing now because I just honestly could not do all my businesses back when I was working that many hours. Now, my job is a lot more flexible. I'm also remote, which helps. So if you go into an office, I would say that makes things a little bit harder. Let's say you're a morning person. You want to get up, you want to work out. By the time you get home from the gym, it's like 7 o'clock. You have to be at work by 9. You might only have 45 minutes to do stuff on your businesses. So potentially you're an after work kind of person. Like when I was single, I could literally just work whenever I wanted. You know, after I wrapped up work for the day, I could go to the gym at 5 o'clock, come home and have dinner, and then work for a couple hours on my businesses until bedtime. And not to say I can't do that anymore. I just I have a bit different of a structure now. So I personally am a morning person. I get up every day, Monday to Friday, for the most part, unless I don't feel well or I'm really burnt out, you know. But most days I get up between 5 and 5:30. My boyfriend leaves the house at 5:30 a.m. and I sit down with my computer and I start working. So from 5:30 a.m. till about 9 a.m., that is my time to get my work done on my blog, on my YouTube channel, on any real estate stuff, on my emails, like any admin that I need to do. That is all in the morning. And then I typically will try to work out maybe around 9 a.m., sometimes around lunch. It kind of just depends on the day. But then I'll start my full-time job at 10 a.m. because they're an hour behind me and I'm online from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So by the time my boyfriend gets home from work, I've gotten my work done for the day and I don't really work into the evenings. If it's a busy season and I have, candles to make or extra stuff to get done, I will typically work maybe sometimes till 7 p.m. But I try to log off between 5 and 6 o'clock most days. So that's like a 12-hour work day, but that is how I fit in all of my extra things, is by getting up early and beginning my day. Whereas if you're somebody who lives on your own and you can work whenever you want, then I would say just determine when you have the most energy. When do you feel like you have the most inspiration to work on your creative projects or your side business? I would just kind of tailor it around your working hours. And so that's how I found the most success, is knowing that the first 3 to 4 hours of my day are spent on my own projects. And then I can dive into my work and stay focused on that as much as I can. So again, I am lucky. I do work from home. So if I have to take, a call at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I typically can, unless I have a meeting in the books. So that is one perk to working from home. Okay, so, and honestly, the driving factor of where I saw the most change in my schedule and in my routine is time blocking. Time blocking has changed the way that I go about my days and how I stay on track. And I honestly believe that things have gotten way better once I really honed in on how to time block and I was strict with myself. So this is my calendar. This is the month of July. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different calendars. I have one for my YouTube schedule, for my personal life, for Instagram and YouTube Shorts, so my more short form content, my business, so anything that has to do with my UGC creation work, anything that has to do with clients that I take on the side. I have a calendar with my boyfriend for family stuff. I have a calendar for my workout schedule. I have a calendar for my candle company, a calendar for my job, a calendar for Living a Lifestyle, which is a lifestyle blog that I run with my best friend. And then I have a calendar for my accounting and business admin work, and then a calendar for my real estate work. I will say, my calendar has grown by 3 or 4 subsections in the last 2 weeks because I found I was spending a lot of time doing finances and real estate, admin. And I'm this isn't just personal, this is business work. So I like to track where I'm spending my time. And so that's how I do it. I just use my iCal and I have them all listed out on the side. They're all a different color. And each week I kind of have a template of how much work I spend on each thing. And then I can move stuff around if I have to, but I kind of know where my time's going, because my worst pet peeve is your day's gone and you don't know what you did. And I feel I was in that trap for the first year and a half that I lived in Alberta. And when I was doing the entrepreneur life, I was Where did the day go? What did I get done? This literally keeps me accountable. I know what I need to get done, and then I can look back and say, okay, this is how I spent my time. You know, if I spent an hour cleaning the house, I know I had to spend an hour cleaning the house, or if I ended up scrolling on Instagram for 20 minutes, I know where that time went. So time blocking is huge. I will do a separate video about time blocking and how I actually do it properly. I'll probably release that next month, but yeah, time blocking is huge. So if you are somebody that either, maybe you have to go to the office every day for 9 a.m., like what are you gonna do between 6 and 8 a.m. for your businesses before you have to go to work? Or what are you gonna do after work from like 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. to get your business work done? There's only so many hours in a day. We all have the same amount of time in a day. And so having a calendar and mapping out your plan of attack, huge. Couldn't recommend it more. And last but definitely not least, like one of the most important key factors, number 3, I would say, is determine your why. Like always be checking in with yourself. Why are you doing this? What are your goals? Like I typically sit down every month. Well, I do sit down every month and I look at my intentions for the month. I look at my goals for the quarter. I look at my goals for the year. Like I'm always going back to my why, what I want to achieve, and making sure I'm on track. Because I would say the downside to having multiple income streams is it's very, very easy to get distracted. And honestly, like maybe I'm doing this the wrong way. Maybe I should be just focusing on 1 or 2 things and that's it. But I have a lot of passions, and I do believe that if you are focused and work hard, you will build out the life that you want to live. And for me, it is about developing my 7 income streams. And so I have to be meticulous about what needs to get done when, and I need to stay strict on my schedule. So that goes back to the time blocking I was talking about, and then also like working when you are the most productive. Because if you get scattered easily or you're all over the place, it's going to be very hard to do this. And I am somebody who is very scattered and all over the place. But I definitely am somebody who's always thinking of a million things at once. It is hard for me to stay focused, but I have to be disciplined, and I do believe it's possible. Like I've seen growth in my YouTube channel this year. I've seen growth in my candle business. I'm seeing growth as an actor. Like I just booked a commercial last week, you know, like I'm doing well at work. Like it's possible. I think if I were to stay focused on maybe less things might happen a bit faster, but I don't know if that's true. Like probably if I did one thing, I would definitely be able to, you know, go really far, really fast. Like if I were growing only a YouTube channel, I'm imagining I would get monetized a lot faster because all I would be doing is working on YouTube. But I mean, I honestly have really just been focused on building out businesses. I would say like seriously only the last 2 years. And I am seeing growth. So I do know that it's possible. It just, our generation very much thinks things happen overnight, and it's hard with social media. Like you see people growing so fast and having all this success, but you can't believe everything you see. And I do think as long as you have patience, you are consistent, you have a plan, and you know why you're doing it, your dreams are gonna come true. You just can't give up. Like there's a quote that says basically like, the people who get to where they want to be were so close to giving up, and then they didn't, and then they got to where they wanted to be. So like the key is just don't give up. And I do think you'll get there. So yeah, just like make sure you stay true to your why and keep circling back on your goals and checking in with yourself. Because if you're just doing this willy-nilly or all over the place, you're not going to go very far because you will be scattered. So that's my last piece of advice. I hope you found these 3 things helpful. Let me know what else you think. Like if you're somebody who is building businesses and still having to work a full-time job, I'm curious to see how you make it work. So please share your thoughts. And I will continue to put out videos like this. I love talking about being an entrepreneur. I love talking about productivity and wellness and all that fun stuff. So stay tuned. I release videos every Wednesday, and that's all. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to check out my Instagram, cornelia.audrey. I share a lot on stories and just like my weekly adventures on there. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.